Hello, I'm Tammy. Welcome to our prairie farmhouse. My rose bush needs pruned again. I cut it back in the early spring, but it has grown wildly throughout the summer. Before I give it a major pruning, I'm going to clip some fresh, pretty blooms for a bouquet. I'm being a little picky, but I want the bouquet to last as long as possible. Some of the blooms on here are pretty faded out and need deadheaded, but I will take care of that when I do a heavier pruning in a little while. You may have heard the terms simple living, slow living, gentle living. There seems to be a new word for a different type of lifestyle every time you turn around. And today I want to talk about what slow living means to me. So I hope you will enjoy hearing my thoughts on it, and I would also love to know your thoughts on it, so leave me a comment below. I would like to start off though by saying what slow living doesn't mean. You're never stressed, you are never hurried, or life is just never a mess. That is just absolutely not it. But it sure can be nice to know how to slow down and find the joy amid the chaos. Gotta get one more pretty bud, and I think that will be enough. When I was at the store earlier this morning, I picked up some flowers that I thought would make great accent and filler pieces for the rose bouquet. Slow living has become a trending lifestyle term, and this is a good example of what it means to me. Two tasks that I knew I needed to do were grocery shopping and pruning my rose bush. I have to admit, shopping of any kind, with exception of antiques, is not enjoyable to me. But I found the joy by taking time, a quick pause, to take in the array of beautiful flowers. Somehow, those few seconds made the task at hand seem a little easier. No wonder they put the flowers at the front of the store. One thing that slow living means to me is to be present in the moment. And as I reflected on what it means to be present in the moment, it took me back to when I was a child. One night, my dad and I was out feeding and watering cows, and he was doing the feeding and I was filling the water trough. It was completely dark, and while I waited for the trough to get full, I looked up at the sky, and the stars just suddenly looked more beautiful to me than ever before. I looked and found the Big Dipper and then the Little Dipper, and my dad had taught me how to find them. Then I just stared at the man in the moon and thought about how everything in the night sky was always the same, night after night, year after year, and how amazing that was. When is the last time that you stared up at the sky in admiration or found the Big Dipper? If you saw the sunflower bouquet that I made last week, no, these are not the same sunflowers. I just picked up some more at the grocery store. But I was able to save some of the greenery that I used in that bouquet, so I am going to start with it to help my flowers stand up. Next, I'm going to start placing the sunflowers throughout the greenery. As children, we come by a lot of things naturally that we tend to lose sight of as we grow up. Being present in the moment is one of them. Ever watched your child with a butterfly in the outfield during a t-ball game? But it doesn't take long for them to become focused through coaching and soon develop self discipline and a desire to play their best. And we all want our children to do their best and succeed at whatever they do. That's what carries them into adulthood as productive citizens. Unfortunately, the process of growing up seems to cause us to put away some of the important qualities that we had as a child. The world tends to convince us our dreams are too big. It's not as easy to believe you can. Oh, to have the faith of a child. Those qualities are still there, though. God placed them there for a purpose. Now I'm going to start adding in the roses. People seem to come by things more naturally than others in different areas of life. I have always been one to like simplicity. It's the little things for me. I like time to myself to get lost in thought, journaling, and just being creative. You may be naturally driven or very busy minded. If so, I would like to encourage you to practice slowing down. Look for moments where you can pause. Jot down a thought here and there throughout the day. Then take some time in the evening to look back and read over what you wrote. I love the creative process of making my YouTube videos, but I have to work on time management. That is something that does not come natural for me. I'm a horrible procrastinator. I always think I have time, so we all have to work on something. The key is to find a balance, I guess. I have to say, as much as I love slow living in the country, you don't have to live in the country to attain a slow living lifestyle. It doesn't matter if you watch the sunrise from a farmhouse porch or a condo balcony. Taking in the moment is what matters. It doesn't matter if you grow a vegetable garden in the ground behind your farmhouse or just a pot of tomatoes in your flower bed. You're getting your hands in the dirt, and that's what matters. Whether you take a walk down a gravel road or a paved walking trail in a city park, you're outside and moving. Being outside in nature, no matter where you live, is a great way to reconnect with the world around you. Do some dreaming. Tap into that childhood ability to imagine and discover the desires of your heart. Psalm 37:4 reads, "Delight yourself in the Lord, and He will give you the desires of your heart." Now that I have all the larger flowers placed, I will go in with the accent flowers. Now back to pruning the rose bush. I am going to try propagating my rose bush. I'm not very confident that it will work, but I'm going to give it a try anyway. My mom and granny propagated roses, each giving the other cuttings to get starts for their gardens. I was amazed as a child to see this actually work. They both had green thumbs though. I seem to struggle in that area, but I continue to try. really don't mind pruning the rose bush. There's something therapeutic about it, as with most gardening tasks for me. I know not everyone feels this way though, so again, we have to find the joy. Prune the rose bush, but take a moment to enjoy the roses. You wouldn't even have to put together a big, elaborate bouquet. Just a fistful of roses in a mason jar to sit on a windowsill or side table or wherever you will enjoy them most. Just remember to stop and smell the roses. Now, isn't that so much better? Hopefully, we'll get lots of more blooms now as we head into fall. In a world of fast everything, we've seen the evolution of processed foods. What convenience it brought to the table. No pun intended. And don't think I haven't been one to take full advantage of making meals from a box. I'm not saying it's always bad to do so, but with all that we gain from the convenience, I think we lose just as much. These changes didn't just happen overnight. My grandmothers made everything from scratch, and alongside my grandpa's, they raised vegetable gardens, raised and butchered their own meat, and had farm fresh eggs from their free range chickens and milk straight from the cow. There was nothing trendy about it. It was just a way of life for everyone, if you were small town country people anyway. I'm glad that as a child I got to experience their ways, even though things had started to change. I have vague memories of the milk cow that my mom and dad milked daily when I was 2 or 3 years old. As I got older, our milk soon came in a gallon jug from the store, and one of my favorite things to eat was colorful cereal from a box. I quickly lost the taste for milk straight from Bessie at Granny and Papa's house. One time, Granny decided she was going to get me to drink the milk at her house by pouring the freshly strained cow's milk into a store-bought milk jug she had my mom to bring her. I was so happy to see that I could have a bowl of cereal at Granny and Papa's house with store-bought milk. After just a couple of bites, I felt a piece of film on my tongue missed by the strainer and said, "Granny, where did you get this milk from?" She started to laugh in disbelief that she hadn't been able to pull the wool over my eyes. But even though my mom bought more things from the store than she grew or raised, she still cooked mostly from scratch with whole food ingredients. The foods of convenience, for one thing, just didn't taste very good. Anyone remember TV dinners? On the other hand, fast food restaurants were viewed as a treat. We might get a Hardee's cheeseburger and fries with a small Coke on a shopping trip once every month or so. Oh, how things had changed by the time I married and started a family of my own. The world in general was faster paced. 2 family incomes had become the norm, but Chris and I chose the more traditional route, and I stayed home to raise our 2 sons. Don't get me wrong, I was no June Cleaver, or better yet, no June Burns. As much as I wanted to be, that's my grandmother, whom I love dearly and have admired my entire life. Oh, how I wanted to be just like her. My grandmother is now 91 years old and still lives on her own and is sharp as a tack. I still want to be like her when I grow up. I got this chocolate chip cookie recipe off of Pinterest. It is by Armand Lou. I hope I'm pronouncing his name right. But anyway, I thought I would give it a try. It is made with just 6 simple ingredients. 1 cup of cashew butter, a half a cup of allulose, or I used monk fruit, 1 large egg, 1 teaspoon vanilla extract, a 1/4 teaspoon baking soda, a half a cup of keto chocolate chips. You fold in the chocolate chips last after you've already mixed up all the other ingredients. I'm just going to put these in the refrigerator for about 30 minutes, and then I'm going to preheat the oven at 350 degrees. After the 30 minutes of being in the refrigerator, they are ready to be scooped up and put on the pan. I'm putting mine on some parchment paper. before putting them in the oven, I'm just going to flatten them out just a little bit with a spoon. And now I'm just going to put them in the oven for 8 to 10 minutes. Being a wife and mother is just not going to look the same for everyone, though, and one way is not better than the other. We all do what is right for our families, and frankly, just do the best we can. I don't think slow living is about any certain lifestyle or doing things any certain way. It's about taking time to be present in the moment, seeing the beauty in life, and finding joy in the everyday tasks. So be intentional, notice the little things, and take a little time to enjoy them. Thank you for joining me. I'll see you next time.